I would say one of the biggest mistakes that I see is putting all your eggs in one basket. As you start to scale and grow, you never want one point that could sink the ship, right? And if you have one merchant account, and let's say today they love business coaches, tomorrow they hate them. Today they love, weight loss products, tomorrow they hate them. Boom, overnight, now you're scrambling. And every day, every hour that you're not able to accept a credit card payment is massive losses for a company.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Pivot to Profit, where we talk all things business and money. And we have a merchant processing expert with us today. What's up, Dylan Gaines? How are you?
Hey, Pam. Great to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. All right, let me formally introduce you. Dylan is a payment processing expert with more than 2 decades of experiencing helping businesses navigate the often complicated world of merchant services, chargebacks, and fraud prevention. As the co-founder of International Payment Solutions, Dylan has worked with countless entrepreneurs and e-commerce business owners to reduce risk, protect revenue, and solve payment processing challenges that can impact growth and profitability. His deep industry knowledge and practical approach has made him a trusted resource for businesses looking to strengthen their financial operations. All right, Dylan, let's dive in. Before we get into the money side of things, my question is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Major League Baseball player. So,
Okay.
yeah, I wanted to play
What
second
position?
base for the Dodgers. Second base. So, yeah, I was in the minor leagues for a very brief 1.5 years, so I had a very long, illustrious baseball career in single A, and, hung them up, and there we go. So definitely baseball player all the way.
Okay, I love it. So, as a young aspiring baseball star, what were you taught
Yes.
about money? Was money good? Was it bad? Was it scarce? What
It was
was money
good.
to you?
Money was fun, to be honest.
Okay.
I was very good, even growing up, with saving money, and then something happened and flipped in my older times, and now I'm not great at saving money. But I used to be very, very tight and frugal with my money as a kid, and now it's similar.
Okay, I
So,
love it.
yeah.
So let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey. So
Yes.
early years after we're done with baseball, you're out in the corporate world, and then you
Yeah.
get a phone call from mom. Tell us about that.
So, right after baseball, I went and coached at a high school. I actually started my own baseball academy called All-Star Baseball School. So I had batting cages, I did lessons, I did camps. So I kind of already jumped into the entrepreneurial world. That was like afternoon, evening, so I had my days free. And my mom, what she did was she went after community banks as referral relationships for payment processing, and she was working with CalFed Bank at the time, which then got bought out by Citibank. And so she went from servicing like 100 branches to over 1,000 overnight. And I was working at a software company selling antivirus software, and I wound up doing so well that they lowered my commissions because I was making more than the manager was, who had been there 10 years. And I was like, I'm out of here. So she called me and she said, listen, I know you don't want to work for me. You don't want to work for your mom. I get it. But just come help me out for 2 weeks till I can hire some more people. And that was 24 years ago. So, yeah, it was a great start.
So 2 weeks turned into a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but it's still 2 more weeks and I'm out. 2 more weeks, I'm done.
2 more weeks and freedom is coming. I love it.
That's
So tell us how you got into International Payment Solutions. Where was the birth of that business?
fantastic question. So I was always a sales rep for my mom's company, UMS Banking. My brother was always in the integrations, tech support, getting into all of how everything worked. I had one of my largest clients that was at my mom's company get closed down by the sponsoring bank that my mom had. And I was like, I'm not losing this deal. So because of my connections within UMS banking, I had other banks, and I said, will you guys take this account? Because her bank is closing it. They said, yeah, we'll take this deal. And then I went to my mom and I said, what do you do with all of your clients that you decline, right? You say, I don't want this business. The bank doesn't want this business. What are you doing with them? They're just sitting here. I have other banks that will take them. So why don't I take these deals that you can't do anything with? They're declined. They're dead. I'll move them over to this other bank and we'll do a profit share. And she's like, yeah, of course. And then I was like, oh, I'll bet you there's other merchant processing companies that have the same problem. Ding! International Payment Solutions was born. And for the first few years, it was other payment processors that were our referral partners. Then we moved into other avenues. But yeah, that's kind of how it was born.
And so now you and your brother are out there saving entrepreneurs with good processing. I remember a day that I had a crisis. I called you up. I'm like, Dylan, help. And you were there for me. So I appreciate that. So why do you think entrepreneurs treat merchant processing like, the ugly thing nobody wants to deal with? Why do you think people just ignore it? Like they just accept it as an expense instead of focusing on it? Because it is a huge potential cost for a lot of business owners, but they just ignore it, accept it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the old saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And I think it's not a pain point until it's a major pain point, right? So it kind of goes from just like the car's cruising down the street, no problems, radio's going, to like flat, and then it's like, oh my God, we better do something. So it's trying to get business owners to understand, let's fix the problem before instead of after we have to be reactive. So, yeah.
And as CFOs, we see that line item and we're like, you don't just have to give away the 3 to 5% that the merchant is taking. Like there's ways to do it differently. But so often clients just accept it. And there's some big processor out there like Stripe. Why is Stripe so awful?
Oh my gosh. Stripe has become the Starbucks of payment processing. They're everywhere. The coffee isn't great, but it's everywhere and you just go, right? One thing they did was they made it very easy as an entry point. Some business owners, they're like, oh, I have to switch over. I have to fill out an app. I have to give them my tax returns and my driver's license and my bank statement. Oh, you know what? I don't want to deal with this, right? And I get it. Stripe was like, okay, great. Go to stripe.com, fill out 5 questions. Boom, you have a merchant account. That's it. And then they kind of reverse engineered. So the entry point, easy, sign up, you're good. But Stripe is still the merchant of record. You're just a sub account underneath. So they can create a sub account like that. But when you go to get your own actual merchant account, there's underwriting. There's KYC, banking regulations that we have to follow. So it's a more arduous process. What's interesting, though, is, and you got back to like, why is Stripe so bad? Those are your words. I'm kidding.
I said it.
It's right. It's good. If you're processing from $0 to $50,000 a month, you're not even a blip on Stripe's radar. They processed over $1 trillion last year. Their whole system is now fully automated. In fact, 80% of their risk department is AI. It's not even a human being anymore. So then what happens is you get to $50K a month, it goes into a risk screen. And then they look at, well, what is Pam doing? What is the website? Let me take a look. And if they see something they don't like, bye-bye. No phone call, no, hey, Pam, let's talk about this. We noticed this on your website. Nope. It's you're closed, you're done, your funds are held. Let me send you an email and have yourself a wonderful day. So that's the way it's set up. It's just an engine that feeds, and get them in the door quick, no questions asked, and then as they start to process, then let's take a look. Let's do it kind of the reverse way, whereas most payment processors, we look at everything up front. We look, we say, great, good, boom, you got your account, and then you have that stability. So that's why they stink.
Got you. So let's
Yeah.
talk about entrepreneurs and processing.
Yeah.
What are some mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs are making that they don't even realize when it comes to their merchant accounts?
Okay, I would say one of the biggest mistakes that I see is putting all your eggs in one basket. As you start to scale and grow, you never want one point that could sink the ship, right? And if you have one merchant account, and let's say today they love business coaches, tomorrow they hate them. Today they love, weight loss products, tomorrow they hate them. Boom, overnight, now you're scrambling. And every day, every hour that you're not able to accept a credit card payment is massive losses for a company. So diversify, create that redundancy. That's number one. Number two is there's a lot of businesses out there that do webinars now. There's a lot of businesses that will do like a sale and they'll have this big spike, right, in transactions.
Yes.
You have to let your processor know about these things. Otherwise, it looks like fraud. It looks like you're trucking along and then boom! And that is will always trigger the risk screen and go, whoa, what's happening? If you're proactive and you're in communication with your processor and you let them know, your funds will not get held. If you do not let them know, 100% guaranteed your funds will be held. So
I've seen that before. We had a client in the education space. They had a webinar, they had a launch, and it was a huge launch, bigger than they'd had before. And 100%, their processor, I won't say their name, but I've already mentioned it, flagged the account, and held over 6 figures, 4 months. And unfortunately, the client had to still fulfill on what they had sold, so they had to fulfill on the services and hire the coaches and all the contractors to do the work. And it took them months to get the money back from their processor because they didn't give them a heads up. And, it was a great sales day, but they couldn't get access to any of the cash. So, and I love what you say about how to diversify merchant accounts. Logistically, how do you do that? Because a lot of times entrepreneurs have like one point of sale. So do you just have extra accounts on standby if need be, or do you use multiple points of sale? What's logistically, how can we manage that?
Fantastic question. So let's say you're an e-commerce business, okay? The gateways that we prefer, we can tie into multiple different gateways. The gateway we use is called NMI. And it can load into the gateway as many merchant accounts as you want to, and then you actually within the gateway can say, I want 30% of my processing to go to this merchant ID number, 30% to go here. You can change it on the fly. You can do it by dollar type, all of these different things. That's the easiest way to manage multiple merchant accounts, one gateway. If you are, let's say some softwares will only use authorized net. Authorized net only allows one merchant ID number. So what we've done is, let's say you basically kind of have to plug and unplug. So like from the 1st to the 15th, you're going to use merchant ID number A, B, blah. From the 16th to the 30th. And in some cases, we'll actually even, depending if they really, how involved they want us to. We had one client that allowed us to plug and unplug for them, right? Yeah. It takes like 15 seconds. But the point is the easiest way is one gateway, multiple accounts loaded and managed. But if you have to use a gateway like AuthNet, you just do a little quick like plugging in a light bulb and taking it out. There's nothing.
Yeah. And the hard thing as entrepreneurs is we're out here hustling. We're doing business development. We're work managing our team. And we just want to take people's money so we can keep going to the next thing. And then all of a sudden, like you say, if your merchant processor all of a sudden decides that they don't like med spas and you then get flagged, if you don't have a backup option, you can't transact in the marketplace. So it's so important to have options. So you guys have been, IPS has been open since 2005. As a business owner, what have you learned about money when it comes to owning and running a business? Not just helping your clients, but what have you learned as one of the partners in this business?
I think one of the importances that I've noticed is don't try to spend a lot of money on new projects. Example, most of our business comes from referral partners. So when we find a referral partner, obviously that doesn't cost a lot of marketing dollars, right? It's not a high expenditure. So then we say, okay, great, that's an avenue that's working for us. Let's go over here and try LinkedIn ads. Let's go try buying a lead list. Let's go try, social media advertising to do this, right? And what I learned is it's okay to take a small piece of your budget to try new things, but don't overinvest in areas that you don't know work.
Yeah.
Pour more into what you know is workable.
Yeah. I hear you. So when you say you work through referrals,
yes.
Who are you talking to? Who are you working with that is helping make introductions for you?
There's this one lovely lady named Pam Jordan, who's a wonderful referral partner of mine.
I love it.
Thank you. We work with a lot of marketing companies that help drive those sales up for the businesses. We work with mastermind groups. We work with a lot of people who basically either service or have a network of businesses that they interact with in some way. And we say, hey, you're providing marketing services for your customers. Their sales and revenue are now increasing. Why don't we talk to them now that their sales are increasing about having a more stable processing? Let's partner up together. And those are the people that we look for when we're trying to find a referral partner.
Okay, I love it. Yeah. Let's dive into chargebacks and fraud, because that's not fun.
Fun stuff.
So first, define what a chargeback is and what a business owner can do about it.
Perfect. A chargeback is basically when a cardholder looks at their statement and there's something about the transaction that they want to dispute. It could be, I don't recognize this charge. It could be, I didn't authorize this charge. It could be, I tried to cancel my membership and they didn't allow me. It could be that the services or product was never delivered. All of the different reasons why, but it's basically a dispute. And what happens is, here's another actually fun fact. Every cardholder has up to 6 months to dispute anything they want to. So they can go back 6 months and go, yeah, you know what? Back in January, I bought this product, and you know what? Blah, 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 blah. I want to charge back, which is why banks, when they're looking at it from a risk perspective, they go 6 months times what you're processing. So that's what it's.
So if I'm a business owner who has a chargeback, right? Like I sold a service to a client, and I get a notification from my processor that I got a chargeback. What do you do?
It's a fantastic question. Within our customer portal that you get from us, you get to see your sales, your transactions. You can breakdown by day, by batch, by specific transaction, and then there's a section in there that has chargebacks. You click on there, you see the chargeback, you see, the card holder, the last 4 digits, the reason why, and then within there, there's a place to upload your case to say, this person said it wasn't delivered. Here's a copy of the receipt of delivery, right?
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. A lot of like business coaches or people who are educational services, people will say, well, they told me this, they promised me that, I didn't get this. The most important thing you can do is on every agreement that you send out, right? Someone says, I want to hire you, I want you to teach me whatever it is, here's your courses you're selling. Be very clear on the language of the agreement, because that's where you're going to save your butt, right? That's where you need to say, I'm going to deliver these courses to you. You have to follow the steps and show you've done these steps. And I'm not in anywhere saying, I guarantee 10x your business, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? So that's where the warranties, guarantees, and promises are very important, because if they say, well, Pam told me I'd 5x my company and it didn't happen. Okay, well, here's actually what you signed and agreed. That's how you're going to be able to protect yourself and get those chargebacks reversed. So
now let's talk about the accounting of it. So say a business owner sells a wellness coaching program. It's $5,000. Client buys it, whatever. They come back and do a chargeback. They dispute it. What people need to understand is the $5,000 the merchant takes from your account then. They don't take it out of future sales. They take it then. Help people understand that, you have to fight to get your money back.
So anytime you as a customer, cardholder, call your credit card company and you dispute a transaction, as soon as they press that button, the money is immediately taken out of the merchant's bank account. The business owner, that's just the system that's in place. There's no other way to do it. Then the paperworks go out. They look at the cardholder side, the merchant side, who's right, who's wrong, and you usually have a time period. The longest that you can go to dispute that is 90 days. After 90 days, you lose, right? Normally, they try to have it handled in the first 30 days and make a decision. But yes, as soon as they hit that chargeback button, and the brutal thing too is there's a lot of credit card issuing companies now that literally have a dispute button right on the statements online. If you're looking at your credit cards online, you don't even have to pick up the phone and explain to anybody why they have a button.
You can just hit dispute, and then, yeah. And so what I need people to understand is if you don't have a relationship with your merchant processor and a client hits that dispute button, they immediately take the cash out of your bank account, whether it's there or not. And so this one particular client, we had implemented Profit First, and so their income account had nothing in it. So then they had all these NSF fees, right? Because they didn't have money in there, because all money comes into one income account and then gets divided to the other accounts. And so they woke up and they're like, hey, my money's gone. I'm like, what happened? And then we investigated, and then they had to justify their services. And luckily we were able to get it back, but it was like 70 days before we could get the money back. Yeah. And there was a number of transactions. So it was like $35 NSF fee every time. And so it cost them a considerable amount of money. And you need to understand that money gets sucked out as soon as they hit go. And you then have to argue to get your money back. And just because you can prove it doesn't mean the merchant processor is going to agree with you. So there's times where just because you have the invoice and you have the receipt and you've got the signed contract, the merchant might agree with the client.
Yeah, it's true. And the sad part is Visa makes more money on the cardholder than they do on the merchant, right? So like if you're a regular cardholder and you've got a Visa credit card in your wallet and you keep a minimum balance, right? You know the rates. I don't have to tell you, Pam. It's like 19.99 or 29.99%.
26%. Yeah.
Thank you, right? So they're making 26% on the cardholder. They're making 2% on the merchant. Who are they going to want to keep happier?
Make happy.
I don't know. You tell me, right? So that's unfortunately part of the game. So yeah.
And I've seen this a lot lately because people are getting tighter with their money, and I've had a number of clients in the here recently get chargebacks, and we're just scratching our head. We're like, our client literally shipped you the thing. Like, I have the shipping order and the bill of lading, like it went to you, but then you then have to prove to Amex that you sent them the thing.
Yep.
And all the person has to say is, I didn't get it.
Yep. I know, it's so brutal. So I call those people the friendly fraudsters. You know, they're trying to get something for nothing. They're trying to figure out how they can justify something that they got or something that they did and said. So it kind of leads me into my next big project and the big push for International Payment Solutions. We have a really unique partnership with a company, Fraud Deflect. And they actually intercept the transaction before it becomes a chargeback. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So it's only for fraud reasons. I didn't authorize this. I don't recognize this. My card was stolen, blah, blah, blah. So let's say you, Pam, called up Wells Fargo and you went to bestshoes.com and you said, I never authorized this transaction. If Best Shoes was a client of Fraud Deflect, as soon as Wells Fargo pressed the chargeback button, it would intercept it because they're actually integrated directly into what's called V-Roll, which is the system that Visa and the issuing banks are in. So they're also tied in there. So it would say, hey, Wells Fargo, actually Pam did authorize this. We have her digital fingerprint. We have her IP address. We have where she clicked, where she scrolled, and Wells Fargo goes, hey, Pam, actually, we just got a bunch of data that you did, so we're not going to initiate a chargeback for you. Boom. Now, that money stays in the merchant's bank account. It does not come out, and they just saved a chargeback. They are deflecting 50% of fraudulent. It's huge. It's the most superior fraud tool that I've seen in the 23 years in my business.
I love it because it is happening a lot with our clients, and it really comes down to having options with merchants and having a relationship where it's like, if something were, because we use you guys, and if something were to happen with my account, I can text you and be like, Dylan, what the crap? Help me. And like, I have a person. With my prior merchant, there was no one that I could call. There was no options to get back up and help. And I have you and another merchant because I learned I can't just have one, right? And so, but both of which I have someone that I could call, not all hours of the day, but during business days, and be like, hey, this happened to my account, help me out. Like, and that's a huge difference because I'm transacting millions of dollars, and I need someone that if something goes sideways that I can call.
You got to have that. And I think people don't understand the value of just having that relationship with your payment processing company. I think it's just, this is how you get paid. This is how money moves into your bank account. You might want to know somebody in there.
Yeah, so it's worth having the relationship. I love it. So Dylan, where can people connect with you?
So our website is one. It's intpaysol.com, intpaysol.com. If you want to email me directly, it's Dylan, DYLAN, .gaines, GAINES, at intpaysol.com. And I'd love to hear from anybody. If they have questions, I'm available. I can drop my Calendly link if you guys want to book a consultation. I enjoy talking about this stuff, and I enjoy helping people. You know, it's a fulfilling business that I never would have thought I got into.
But here we are. You're loving it. Well, Dylan, this has been so great. Thank you so much for all the wisdom that you shared. Because look, business owners, your money matters and you need to keep as much of it as possible. And if you don't have a good relationship with a merchant processor, it is costing you money and you are exposing yourself to getting your cash tied up. I have seen it. And make sure that you have a phone number or someone that you can reach out to. So like I said, Dylan is one of the providers that we use. Highly recommend him and his team. Happy to help you guys. But that's all for today's episode of Pivot to Profit. Remember, it's not what you make that matters. It's what you keep.